Let us begin by asking, what does it truly mean to become a savage? For many, the word conjures images of brute force or reckless destruction. But I invite you to see it differently. To become a savage is to return to your raw, untamed essence. It is to shed the layers of artificiality that society has draped upon you and reclaim the fire that has always burned within. You see, from the moment we are born, we are tamed, taught to behave, to conform, to fit neatly into the boxes others have created for us. But in doing so, we lose touch with something vital. That primal force within you, the part that laughs wildly, loves deeply, and acts without hesitation. That part is your savage self. Now, to be savage is not to be cruel, but to be honest. Honest with who you are and what you feel. It is to stop pretending, to stop playing the games of approval and validation. Think about it, how much of your life is spent trying to meet the expectations of others. How often do you quiet your own voice so someone else can speak louder? The savage does not ask for permission to exist. They know that their instincts, their intuition, are their birthright. When you feel something deep within a pull, a calling that is your savage speaking. But too often we ignore it. We let the noise of the world drown out the roar of our spirit. And why? Because we fear chaos, we fear uncertainty. But let me tell you something, life is chaos. Life is not a neat little plan, it is a storm, a dance of unpredictability. And the savage doesn't run from the storm, they dance in it. They embrace the wildness of existence, trusting that they can ride the waves, no matter how fierce. To become a savage is to be free. Free from the chains of should and must, free from the fear of being misunderstood. When you live as a savage, you do not need the world's approval, because you already approve of yourself. But becoming a savage is not easy. It takes courage. It takes the willingness to break the rules not out of rebellion, but because those rules were never yours to begin with. So I ask you, can you remember the last time you let go? The last time you truly lived without restraint, without fear? That is the moment I want you to reclaim. Because deep down you are already savage. All you need to do is stop pretending to be anything else. The world may call you wild, reckless, even dangerous. But the truth is, a savage is simply someone who has remembered what it means to be alive. Reclaiming authenticity is about breaking free from the illusions and expectations imposed by society and reconnecting with your true self. In today's world, we are constantly shaped by external influences, be it family, culture, or social media, pressuring us to conform to a version of life that often isn't aligned with who we truly are. This conditioning begins early, teaching us to suppress our natural instincts, desires, and individuality to fit into a mold that society deems acceptable. However, authenticity is the key to true freedom, and reclaiming it requires stripping away these layers to uncover the raw, unfiltered essence of who we are. Imagine for a moment how much of your life has been dictated by expectations. From the way you dress, to the career you choose, to the opinions you express, so many of your choices are not truly your own. They are shaped by what others expect of you. But the truth is, living like this is exhausting. It's like wearing a mask that never quite fits, leaving you disconnected from yourself. To reclaim authenticity is to remove that mask and rediscover the person underneath. This process isn't about creating a new version of yourself. It's about uncovering the real one that has been buried beneath layers of conditioning. When you reclaim your authenticity, you begin to live a life that feels natural, not forced. You stop seeking validation from others because you no longer need their approval to feel worthy. Authenticity allows you to recognize that your worth is inherent. It is not something that can be granted or taken away by anyone else. This shift in mindset is empowering, and it's a defining characteristic of those who have become savage in their approach to life. A savage is not someone who follows the crowd, but someone who trusts their instincts and intuition, carving their own path unapologetically. Reclaiming authenticity also means embracing your imperfections. In a world obsessed with perfection, being true to yourself requires acknowledging your flaws and understanding that they are an essential part of your identity. The savage recognizes that trying to appear perfect only creates a false image. Instead of hiding their imperfections, they wear them proudly because they understand that authenticity comes from being real, not from being flawless. This is why people who live authentically often seem more magnetic and relatable. They are not trying to impress anyone, they are simply being themselves. This process of reclaiming authenticity is deeply tied to listening to your inner voice. Over time, we learn to suppress this voice because we are taught to prioritize the opinions of others over our own intuition. However, this voice is your compass, guiding you toward the life that is meant for you. Reconnecting with this inner guidance system is a critical step in reclaiming your authenticity. When you trust your instincts, you stop second-guessing yourself and start making decisions that align with your true desires and values. This is the essence of what it means to be savage, living according to your own truth, no matter how unconventional it may seem to others. It's important to recognize that reclaiming authenticity requires courage. It's not always easy to go against the grain, especially when the world expects you to follow a certain script. But the savage understands that true freedom lies in breaking free from these expectations. They are willing to take risks, face criticism, and stand alone if necessary, because they know that living a life that isn't authentic is not living at all. In reclaiming your authenticity, you also reconnect with your passions and desires. The things that truly excite you, the dreams that you may have pushed aside because they didn't fit into society's narrative, these are the aspects of yourself that deserve to be nurtured. When you allow yourself to follow your passions, you begin to experience a sense of purpose and fulfillment that can't be achieved through conformity. This is the power of living authentically. It aligns you with a life that feels meaningful and true. Ultimately, reclaiming authenticity is about becoming the most honest version of yourself. It is about stepping into your power and embracing the raw, untamed essence of who you are. This is not just an act of self-expression, it is an act of liberation. When you reclaim your authenticity, you free yourself from the limitations of societal expectations and step into a life of true freedom, passion, and purpose. This is the path of the savage, a path of truth, courage, and unapologetic self-expression. Embracing instincts and intuition is about reconnecting with the natural wisdom that resides within you. In modern society, we have been conditioned to rely on external validation, logic, and rigid systems rather than the innate intelligence that has guided humans for centuries. However, your instincts and intuition are powerful tools that can lead you to a more authentic, empowered, and fulfilling life. To embrace these primal forces is to awaken your inner savage, the part of you that thrives on raw, unfiltered connection with yourself and the world around you. Instincts are the deeply ingrained responses that arise in moments of decision or action. They are the gut feelings that tell you something is right or wrong, the inner pull that nudges you toward a specific direction, even when it defies conventional logic. These instincts have been honed through generations of evolution, designed to help you survive and thrive. Yet in today's world, we are often taught to suppress them. We are told to overanalyze, second-guess, and prioritize what is reasonable over what feels right. But the truth is, when you ignore your instincts, you disconnect from an essential part of yourself. To embrace your instincts is to trust your body's natural intelligence. Have you ever felt a sense of unease in a situation without knowing why, only to later discover that your instincts were right? Or have you ever experienced a surge of clarity about a decision that seemed illogical but ultimately led to the best outcome? These moments are proof of the power of your instincts. They bypass the noise of the mind and connect you directly to your deeper self. When you embrace this primal wisdom, you begin to make decisions that align with your true nature, rather than being swayed by societal expectations or fear. Intuition, on the other hand, is the quiet inner voice that provides guidance in a subtler way. While instincts are immediate and visceral, intuition operates like a compass, pointing you toward the path that feels most aligned with your purpose. It's the whisper that says, this is the right direction, even when the road ahead is uncertain. The savage understands the importance of intuition and allows it to guide them through the chaos of life. To listen to your intuition is to honor the part of you that sees beyond the surface, that understands the deeper currents of existence. In the modern world, intuition is often dismissed as irrational or unreliable. We are taught to trust data, logic, and external expertise above all else. But the savage knows that intuition is not random. It is the result of your subconscious mind processing information and experiences at a level that your conscious mind cannot fully grasp. It is a form of intelligence that cannot be measured but is undeniably real. Embracing your intuition means giving yourself permission to act on what feels right, even when it doesn't make sense to others. One of the challenges of embracing instincts and intuition is learning to distinguish them from fear or societal conditioning. Fear often masquerades as instinct, urging you to avoid risks and stay in your comfort zone. But true instincts and intuition come from a place of clarity and confidence, not anxiety or doubt. They feel like an inner, knowing a sense of certainty that arises when you are connected to your authentic self. The more you practice listening to these inner signals, the better you become at discerning their messages. To live as a savage means embracing your instincts and intuition as your most trusted allies. This doesn't mean rejecting logic or reason, but recognizing that they are not the only tools at your disposal. The savage integrates both the primal and the rational, creating a balance that allows them to navigate life with confidence and purpose. When you trust your instincts and intuition, you stop seeking approval from external sources. You realize that the answers you've been searching for have always been within you. Embracing these forces also requires breaking free from the noise of the modern world. Social media, endless opinions, and constant distractions can drown out your inner voice. To reconnect with your instincts and intuition, you must create space for stillness and self-reflection. Spend time in nature, meditate, or simply sit with your thoughts. The savage understands that the more connected you are to yourself, the stronger your instincts and intuition become. Living in tune with your instincts and intuition allows you to experience life in its rawest and most vibrant form. It enables you to make bold decisions, take risks, and trust that you have the inner resources to handle whatever comes your way. This is the essence of being a savage, living not from a place of fear, but from a place of deep, unwavering trust in yourself. Freedom from external validation is one of the most transformative shifts a person can experience. In a world driven by opinions, judgments, and comparisons, we often find ourselves trapped in a cycle of seeking approval. From the way we present ourselves on social media to the choices we make in our personal lives, much of what we do is influenced by how others perceive us. Breaking free from this cycle is a key part of reclaiming your authenticity and embracing the path of the savage, a life lived unapologetically on your terms. External validation begins shaping us from an early age. We are praised when we meet expectations and criticized when we deviate. Over time, this conditioning makes us reliant on the opinions of others to determine our worth. We start measuring ourselves through the lenses of societal standards, constantly wondering if we are enough, are we successful enough, attractive enough, smart enough? These questions lead to an exhausting chase for recognition, a chase that often leaves us disconnected from who we truly are. To live as a savage is to realize that this approval is a false currency. It holds no real value in the grand scheme of your life. When you seek external validation, you give away your power. You place your self-worth in the hands of others, allowing their opinions to dictate your choices, actions, and sense of identity. The savage understands that true power comes from within. They know that relying on external validation creates a fragile sense of self, one that can crumble at the slightest criticism or rejection. Instead, the savage builds a foundation of self-approval and self-respect, making their inner voice the ultimate authority in their life. This is not arrogance, it is the recognition that you are the only one who truly understands your path and purpose. Letting go of external validation also means freeing yourself from the fear of judgment. Fear of what others might think often holds people back from pursuing their dreams or expressing their true selves. How many times have you hesitated to speak your mind, wear what you want, or take a bold step because you were worried about being judged? The savage rejects this fear. They understand that no matter what you do, there will always be people who disagree, criticize, or misunderstand you. Seeking to please everyone is a futile effort that only leads to frustration and a diluted version of yourself. One of the greatest benefits of living free from external validation is the ability to make decisions that align with your authentic self. When you stop caring about what others think, you begin to listen to your own desires, instincts, and intuition. You no longer make choices to impress, conform, or fit in. Instead, you make choices that feel right for you, even if they defy expectations or challenge conventional norms. This is the essence of living as a savage, trusting your own judgment and being unapologetically true to yourself. Freedom from external validation also fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships. When you no longer seek approval, you stop pretending to be someone you're not. You show up as your authentic self, which creates genuine connections based on mutual respect and understanding. People are drawn to those who are real, who have the courage to be vulnerable and honest. By living authentically, you inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of empowerment and authenticity. Breaking free from the need for validation requires unlearning years of conditioning. It's not always easy, especially in a world that constantly encourages comparison and competition. Social media, in particular, fuels this cycle by providing a platform where likes, comments, and followers become metrics of worth. But the savage understands that these metrics are meaningless. They refuse to measure their value by external standards, recognizing that their worth is intrinsic and cannot be quantified by numbers or opinions. To cultivate freedom from external validation, you must first learn to validate yourself. This means accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. It means recognizing that you are enough as you are without needing anyone else's approval. This self-acceptance is not about ignoring your shortcomings, but about understanding that you are a work in progress. The savage embraces growth and change, but does so from a place of self-love rather than self-criticism. Another key aspect of freeing yourself from external validation is learning to set boundaries. When you rely on others for approval, you often say yes to things that don't serve you, simply to avoid disappointing or upsetting people. The savage, however, is unafraid to say no. They understand that their time, energy, and well-being are valuable, and they prioritize their own needs and goals over the expectations of others. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and a powerful way to reclaim your autonomy. Freedom from external validation is not about rejecting others or becoming indifferent to their feelings. It's about finding balance, valuing input from those who matter while staying true to yourself. The savage listens to feedback but does not let it dictate their worth or decisions. They understand that opinions are just that, opinions, not truths. By keeping this perspective, they remain grounded in their own sense of self. When you live free from external validation, you unlock a new level of confidence and freedom. You stop wasting energy trying to please others and redirect it toward living a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. This shift is not just empowering, it is liberating. It allows you to experience life in its fullest, rawest, and most authentic form. This is what it means to live as a savage, unapologetically yourself, free from the chains of judgment and approval. Cultivating resilience and self-reliance is the cornerstone of embracing a savage mindset. It means developing the mental toughness to face life's challenges head-on while depending on your inner strength rather than seeking external support as a crutch. In a world that often rewards comfort and conformity, resilience is what sets you apart, allowing you to adapt, overcome, and thrive in even the harshest conditions. Self-reliance, on the other hand, is the ability to trust yourself to handle life's obstacles without needing constant reassurance or help from others. Together, these qualities forge an unshakable foundation for living boldly and authentically. Resilience begins with your mindset. Challenges, setbacks, and adversity are inevitable, but your ability to persevere depends on how you perceive them. Many people view difficulties as roadblocks, something to avoid or complain about. The savage, however, sees them as opportunities to grow and strengthen their inner fortitude. Every obstacle is a test, a chance to sharpen your problem-solving skills, deepen your resolve, and prove to yourself that you can overcome anything. By shifting your perspective in this way, you stop fearing hardship and start embracing it as a necessary part of your evolution. Resilience is not about being unaffected by life's struggles, but about how you respond to them. It's about developing emotional strength and the ability to recover quickly from setbacks. To cultivate resilience, you must learn to manage your emotions rather than letting them control you. This doesn't mean suppressing how you feel, it means acknowledging your emotions, processing them, and then moving forward with clarity and purpose. The savage knows that dwelling on pain or failure only holds you back. Instead, they focus on what can be learned from each experience, using it as fuel to move forward stronger than before. Self-reliance is equally crucial. In today's world, many people are overly dependent on others for validation, security, and direction. This dependency can weaken your ability to trust yourself, leaving you vulnerable when external support is not available. The savage understands that while relationships and community are valuable, the ultimate source of strength must come from within. Self-reliance means knowing that you have the resources, skills, and determination to navigate life on your own terms. It's about taking responsibility for your choices and actions, knowing that your life is in your hands. To develop self-reliance, you must start by building confidence in your abilities. This involves stepping out of your comfort zone and taking on challenges that test your independence. It could be as simple as learning a new skill, managing your finances, or making important decisions without seeking excessive input from others. Each time you succeed, you reinforce your belief in your capability. Even when you fail, the process teaches you valuable lessons and builds your resilience. The savage thrives on this cycle of growth, understanding that independence is earned through action and experience. Resilience and self-reliance also require discipline. In a world filled with distractions and temptations, staying focused on your goals demands a high level of self-control. The savage cultivates discipline not as a form of restriction, but as a tool for achieving freedom. When you are disciplined, you are not swayed by fleeting emotions or external pressures. You stay true to your purpose, knowing that consistency and effort are the keys to long-term success. This discipline allows you to weather storms, maintain your course, and emerge stronger on the other side. Cultivating resilience and self-reliance doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting help from others. It's about finding balance, valuing relationships and support systems while knowing that your ultimate strength lies within. The savage welcomes collaboration and connection, but never becomes dependent on them. They understand that true empowerment comes from the ability to stand alone when necessary, to face the world with confidence in their own abilities. In the end, resilience and self-reliance are not just qualities, they are a way of life. They allow you to face challenges with courage, adapt to change with ease, and create a life that is true to your values and vision. By embodying these traits, you become unstoppable, capable of navigating the ups and downs of life with grace and determination. This is what it means to live as a savage, to trust yourself, rise from adversity, and build a life of authenticity and strength.